Yo, I am Rue, aka the Culture Black Kid, and I'm here with Trip.
Yo,
How
what's
you
good?
doing, man?
I'm doing good, bro. How you going?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Your latest project, With or Without You, out now on all streaming. Cliche question, but how does it feel? It sounds like you've been working on this project for a minute, and yeah.
It's a great relief. I can't lie. It's there's goods and bads. Like obviously, sad that the project's over. Sad that the creative process is over. Finally, that everything that we've all been working for comes to an end until
For
I guess
sure.
next time. But also super happy the album's out. It was a big moment for us. Everyone behind the scenes really, whether that be creatives, producers, even my managers, label team. We were all super happy with how it ended up, and yeah, I can't lie, it's been great. The reception's been a lot better than we were expecting, to
For
be
sure.
honest. So yeah,
For sure. It's always, so nice as a creative to finally leave your art into the world and be like, oh, how is people gonna react? And when people react positively, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, this is beautiful. I'm so happy that the team came together, everyone came together, made the whole thing an amazing experience. And
Yeah.
yeah. So we are currently in the rocks in Sydney, on Sydney Harbour. You see the Harbour Bridge in the background. Not to get too much into your business, but what is the significance of
Wait, we're diving in deep here
significance-
now. Wow,
Hey,
straight. Bro
look.
said straight to the point.
Straight to the point. Look, we got to set the scene.
Bro's about to narwhal me, full outlay. So,
So this
what's the meaning behind this?
What is the significance of this location?
So pretty much a quick rundown of the album. It's about I went through a lot of stuff last year, and part of it was like sort of my journey with this girl, meeting her, going through the typical phases, and like navigating the modern day relationship really with her. So this was actually we had our first date down there at an Italian restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
That might be listed here. I forgot the name, to be honest. And then we went for a little walk, had a little DM, and then
Yeah.
chilled here. It's a nice
Nice.
place.
Nice. Very, very wholesome.
Really
first date
wholesome.
spot.
Yeah.
For sure.
All went downhill from there, but
Okay. The irony of us on a slant right now.
yeah.
But okay, yeah, nice. And with or without you, also kind of a cliche question. Yeah, what is the meaning of that title, especially tied in with this current location? And yeah, how does that all sum up?
Yeah, so the original running title was Dear God for the longest time.
Okay.
It was only a month before the album dropped that we actually changed it to With or Without You, which is the final lyrics on the album, which Joy sings. Obviously, Bless sings on Cook Road as well. But pretty much, I think the reason we changed it was I think it's a statement. It's a pretty big statement, like whether it's to the girl or to anything else that happened, like other people I lost throughout the last year, but also just to the industry as well. It's like we had a lot of issues legally clearing the album. So many different producers, so many different artists.
For sure.
Not as in anyone was a hassle, but more
No.
so just it's a
industry,
huge industry
stuff.
thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
such a scale for this album. It was just a lot of work and a lot of people working backwards. So there's a few people that had a little bit of like backlash to it. So it was sort of like, well, look, the album's coming out.
For sure.
It was such a big part for me that I had to get it out. So I was with or without you, like this album's coming out.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a statement.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, for sure. And before we get into the album itself, I do want to get your thoughts on one thing regarding just the general theme of producer-led albums recently. It's been a big rise in the music industry. There's been a couple producers around the scene that who've put out those type of projects. What do you think is the importance of producer-led projects in this current landscape of music?
I think if we're talking about the Australian scene, huge right now.
Yeah.
Huge. Producers are in a point where they know everyone. They know thematically and conceptually how an album should sound.
Yeah.
Like, they have the ability to really go from start to finish and build something that incorporates everyone else in the scene, whether it be other Australian producers or other Australian artists, which was something really big for me making this album. So I think in the coming years, to be honest, I think with a few producer albums I personally heard of coming out, as well as a few that came out with Miggy and Uno Stereo, shout out those guys for really leading the way with that. But with that concept of a producer album becoming a thing now in Australia, especially led by these people, I think our scene will finally start to see the collaboration that we need so badly, as well as that spotlight and highlight on the scene.
Yeah. No, 100%. And, it's something that's been, like, amazing for me to see as well. I think I like the Taku one. I made a
Yeah.
comment in a review about, I really love these producer-led projects because there's just a sense of collaboration.
Yeah, exactly.
Like natural collaboration. That has been stressed to me from multiple aspects, from multiple positions and people. And, again, that leads to, your project and, all the people who you brought together, interesting collabs for sure
I know,
that we'll get into. But, yeah, let's get into the project a bit more. And naturally, let's start with the intro. And what seems like a super personal intro. I did see I think it was pulled down, but like a post. I think it was a post about the intro. And, do you want to speak a bit more on, why you chose that as the intro? What's the sentimentality behind that? And yeah,
100%. So that's from Solus, who's another producer in Australia. Pretty much last year, about midway throughout the year, just a series of events led to me living out my car for a bit.
Yeah.
So I sort of really detached from everyone. Just this is sort of the beginning of making the project, or thinking like, okay, this is how this is going to become a project, right?
Sure.
Starting to take songs together and whatnot. And it was one of those moments where no one had really heard from me, and it sort of, I guess, leads the start of the series of events. So the album's very chronological when you look at the backstory of it and the basis of it. So it's pretty much done in a loop where, I'm not sure if you actually heard, if you've listened, but if you loop the album, the end of Cook Road transitions straight back into front. So it's this continuous loop, and I think it sort of like symbolizes that, for me personally, that was a really bad situation, but there are going to be times where it's going to get to that level of badness again. So it's sort of that idea of, it's a constant loop where, you start struggling with faith, and then, you get into a high, and then you slum it, and then you find, okay, it's going to be fine. I've done this before. I'll get through it again. And then it happens again, and it's that constant loop. So that's sort of where the voicemail came through.
Yeah, it's the cyclical nature of life, and if things are gonna go down, but if they go down, they always got to go up. And
it sort of ties back with the album title as well, like we were talking about before. With or without you, this process is going to happen again.
For sure.
So no matter which way we go down,
no, for sure. All right, I'm gonna jump straight into it. Track 3, Saints. With Yao Does It All and Rick Ross. Let's talk about this. let's get into it. But let's start with Yao. How'd the Yao link come about? Yao is one of my favorite artists in the scene right now. How did getting Yao on it start?
So that song Yao's part only came through a month before the song dropped. Okay. So it was pretty recent. Originally, there was meant to be a few other artists in the scene, but I think the scale of the feature, people were like, "You're bullshitting." And then I sent it through. They're like, "Well, that's not going to get cleared." I even had someone saying, it was actually quite funny. You don't have money for Macca's, but you have money for a Rick Ross feature. I was like, that's why I don't have money for Macca's.
Priorities.
Exactly. Exactly. No. So Yao came on at last minute and absolutely killed it. We did chop it up a few times. I think it was over 3 sessions that we made his part. But his end result, I mean, I think he came on the same level as Rick Ross, which was the main goal.
For sure. For sure. And again, Rosé, how did the Rosé link come about as well?
So there's this A&R for Ross over in the US called M80. And pretty much I was sending him a bunch of beats, and he was fucking sending them out to everyone. We actually have like a few unused features. I don't know if I can leak them, but next album has a few pretty big features as well on it. And he was sending it out. He sent Rick Ross one back. He's like, "You fuck with this. Like, this is the go. This is how he sort of usually does it." And it was actually probably the easiest feature to get on the album. Ironically, like the biggest feature was like the easiest to handle. Like it pretty much happened over the course of 2 months back, maybe May last year, and just been sitting on it since then.
Yeah, for sure. Was that also similar to Dizzy Wright? Well?
So same person, same A&R, sent it out to both, and then got the Dizzy Right back.
Yeah, nice. And how was also getting I think Isadora's on
Isadora
that one,
on the digital.
How did that combining those two as well?
So Dizzy Right got on it first. He laid his verse down, but I sent Isadora. She was in the UK at the time. She just came back from UK. I think she lives in LA now.
Oh, wow, okay.
she was doing her thing, and I sent her just the beat. I didn't send her the verse just to see like what she did with it.
Yeah.
And that's when she came up with her first draft, which is pretty similar to the end product. Sent back a few notes, whatever, and then added the verse on. Is this the vibe? Is this what we're feeling like? And yeah, it just came out really fluid.
For sure.
I think it was really different for her. She's never really gone into production like that, which I think was a big thing for the whole album in general.
Yeah.
Getting people onto things they wouldn't usually be seen on. And just even the mixing and like vocal effects. Like the ending is probably like my favorite ending of one of the songs on there. With her like vocals like scattered everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Regular.
Yeah.
Yes. Is that you on the vocals?
That is not me.
That is not you.
I
okay.
legally can't disclose who is on the vocals.
Okay.
But yeah, as someone dope.
Okay.
Shout out that person. I can't say your name, but
I guess I'm not sure if that's getting too much into.
Go for it.
Okay. How did this link with Redacted come about? Yeah. Because it was interesting seeing a track with just you on it, and I'm like, okay.
Is that
you?
yeah. No, so the track we made it back in 2020. It's an old track. It was actually the first time me and Redacted.
Yep.
Me and this person linked up, and it was a freestyle. The whole thing's a freestyle. They pretty much killed it in 30 minutes. We're just like, it was actually quite funny. So the vocal effect on their voice, we did it in the studio, and pretty much how do I say this without spoiling who it is? Okay, it's a female artist.
Okay.
And she's like, I want to sound like a man. I was like, I got
you. Okay.
And pretty much, we just fucked around with her vocals for a bit. We're like, this is a vibe. Like, there's nothing out of it like it in Australia from what I know. And like, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Yeah, I was super curious about that. Okay. All right. I want to get to my personal favorite on the project, which is You'll Be Fine.
Yeah.
Which, so we got Tokyo Vendetta.
Yeah.
We got B-Wise on that, an amazing soul sample. Hits the spirit for real. And I was talking with a couple of friends, and we were like, yo, you really brought out what I personally think is the best in Tokyo.
Yeah.
I haven't heard, like, that's my favorite verse that
From
she's
Tokyo,
ever done. How did getting Tokyo on it, especially a beat like that, like, how did that go about? Because obviously, she's been on the big early thousands to late 90s 50 Cent style vibe, and you're like, nah, let me throw a super soulful
180, completely different. So pretty much I do a lot of Tokyo stuff. So pretty much half of a EP album project, whatever I've worked on. So either mixes, recording, or production on it. So we have that connection already. We've been working for about a year straight. But I think something she wants to lean into now is going down, like, look, she's done that in New York, like, okay, I've got the attention of people, like, let me speak on something, like, important.
For sure.
Right? And it came out, originally A-Girl was meant to be on the song.
Interesting.
So A-Girl was meant to be on the song on that first verse, but things just fell through. Not bad, fell through, like, just time schedules and stuff. She's busy. So I asked Tokyo to get on it out of a sort of a whim, thinking it's going to be very different for you. You're not going to like it. She didn't like it.
Oh, initially, okay.
She liked it, but it was also like, I don't know,
a bit out
like,
of the,
you know what I mean? It was out of her comfort zone.
Yeah.
And it was just sort of sitting down, going like, workshopping it with her and going like, look, like this is a vibe as well.
Yeah.
It's not the vibe you're used to, or maybe you don't want to pursue in the future, but I definitely think she killed that.
No, 100%. And like I said, it's my favorite Tokyo verse to date. The stuff she's talking about is crazy. Like, it feels super personal. And, like, it's so interesting when you chuck artists who have, like, a signature sound on something that's completely different.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can do this?
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
It just showcases their talentry.
Yeah.
And I think one of the beauties, like, as we said before, of being a producer and doing a producer album is, like, I have the ability to do that. Like, I think as an artist, sometimes it's hard because, you have your team behind you going, you need to go down this path. You have, all your fans going, you need to go down this path. As a producer, I'm like, I don't care. Like,
for sure.
Up on this, like, this is what happened to me. Talk about it for a bit, thanks. Like,
Yeah. No, for sure,
So-
and yeah, as we brought up at the moment, at the top, the importance of producer
Exactly,
albums,
yeah.
like you said, the ability for you to be able to curate, specific artists and really, play, for a better lack of a better term, play God
Yeah.
in regards to how you sort it out. It's so awesome, and pairing her up with someone like B Wise,
yeah.
who's known for doing like these amazing lyrical, super introspective passages. It was such a dope collab. And then following that, we got 5 a.m. in London
Yeah.
with Jai Waitford. Fun
Yeah.
fact: me and Jai Waitford actually went to primary school together.
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
ask you before because you said you were from Campbelltown. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe they know each other.
Yeah,
But yeah.
no. But that's
How was
a
that?
conversation for a whole that was interesting. That was fun. I was a few years older, and I used to run into him in between classes.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, "Yo, Jai, sing something for me," and he'd like freestyle something off the top of my head.
Yeah.
His head. It was so fun. But yeah, no, me and Jai have ran into each other a couple times since then. It's been all love. And yeah, so first track for 2 years, since 2 years.
His first track in ages.
Yeah, how did it feel getting Jai's first track in ages, on your project? And yeah.
And personally, like, that is my favorite song, just the sentimental value, and it came around really, really smoothly. Like, it's probably on the album the smoothest writing process. We were meant to have Sahil on it originally as well, so it was meant to be both of them, but the Sahil session was a little bit later, and it was just Jai in the first one, and we sat there and we were like, doesn't, like, as much as I'd love to have him on the song as well, like, it just hits different right now. Like, it just, less is more. And that song, I think I probably spent the most time on, just with different arrangements, different, like, different verses, different production, seeing mixes as well. I think it had, like, 11 mixes or something. Like, we're just very specific on it, even though it's such a simple song. But I think the simplicity of it, and why we came back to simplicity of it, was just because it needs to be simple. It doesn't need to say more than what he's saying already.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not. It would have been interesting in the world where Sahil might have been on that track.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a loose demo that she might turn into a remix one day, but
deluxe version later.
Yeah, exactly. Like anniversary type version or something like that. But yeah, less is more, and that's something that, again, a lot of musicians or artists they think, chuck more features, more production.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, just
especially,
relax.
I think, like, following up with everything behind it, like, there's already a lot going on. I think it's probably why it is my favorite moment on the album, because it's that moment where you can sit and, like, sort of reflect and listen to the song passively. You're not going, like... Yeah.
No,
and
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And that brings us to Cook's Road.
Yeah.
Which is the final track with Blessed.
Yeah.
Just out of assumption, I assume that is the road.
Yeah.
That's the road on the artwork.
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
Interesting.
so 2 different roads. So the road on the artwork is it's actually a little cul-de-sac on Cardigan Street in Auburn, which is where I grew up.
Yeah.
But Cook Road is actually where other Redacted 2.
Okay.
Redacted 2.
Redacted.
Yeah. The girl is sort of all about lived.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's coming back to that, like, full circle moment. Tying it with the album title and everything, and
For sure. So then, why Blessed to close this one out?
Did you hear his verse?
No, I heard the verse. I heard the verse.
Did you hear his hook? Did you?
No, I heard it.
Yeah,
I heard it.
That's
But,
why.
No, for sure.
He killed it.
Blessed does have that. Again, similar to a BY, is that sense of just his pen and just how he words things and tells storytelling.
Yeah.
Paints a beautiful picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think he summed it up. It made a lot more sense when, outside of the, the planning for this, and you're like, oh yeah, this is the location because of this. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
it's
all
making
comes together. Yeah.
the full circle, like you said, is definitely coming together. And yeah, is there any other songs that I missed that you would like to touch on that, there's maybe an interesting anecdote, or maybe like the Chandler Jules, Harry Hilfiger song?
That's the only one I think, because I love that song. Like, it's between that and 5 a.m. for my favorites. Like, Harry, that's his first drop. Like, official drop.
That's true. That's very true.
Everyone's like, my demons are the funniest. When the album drop, everyone's like, who's Harry Hilfiger? Why is his name the same as Tommy Hilfiger's?
That's
like, nah, but he's a gun. He is. I think both of those guys just, like, the potential to do so much in this industry. And yeah, they helped each other write the parts. We had, like, probably 3-4 sessions for that song. and the production on it as well. I did it with Angelo Armani, who's amazing fucking producer. He did Cook Road as well with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's a perfect opening for me. Like,
For sure.
sets up the whole album well. They both killed their parts. All the small little things. Chandler, you know, fucking great with his little like ad libs and counter melodies.
For sure.
Yeah, they're both a vibe. I'm keen to see what both of them do.
No, 100%. They are a great duo. I was with them both in the studio when we were working on Divorce Ketamine.
Yeah.
And just seeing Harry wasn't even on the song, but just his energy in the
yeah,
studio. I'm
Harry
like,
is the funniest guy I know, bro.
What are you doing? Why? Shout out to Harry. Shout out to
Harry.
Oh, they're both a vibe. Just all of the group, like the Ash Sways.
Yeah, that whole little group.
Yeah.
There's so much potential between all of them.
For sure.
And yeah,
For sure.
I'm
Tommy
keen.
Gunn.
Tommy Gunn as well.
Yeah.
Lee.
Yeah.
Lee.
No, for
Shout
sure.
out Lee, bro.
All right, I got a couple more questions for you, but before we get into that, it wouldn't be a root interview if I didn't play a game with you because I love games.
Yeah.
So I like to do this game called Build Your Ultimate Collab. So what I'm gonna get you to do is you're gonna do a posse cut. So obviously you're the producer of the track.
Yeah.
It is 4 artists
Yeah.
that weren't on the project, that weren't on the album, and So ultimate posse cut with 4 artists who weren't on the project. Who you?
Are we doing Australian edition?
Yes.
Australian
Only Australian.
edition.
Only Australian.
Damn. Sound good on the track. I gotta think what sort of track it would be.
Very important.
We're gonna go with A Girl Lee.
Okay.
I think that'd be a good collab. 2 others that complement them. Billy Marie.
Ooh. Okay.
Billy Marie. She wasn't on the album. Anyway.
Okay.
One more. We'll get one more male to even it out. Tommy Gunn.
Tommy Gunn. Okay.
Yeah.
A Girl Lee. Billy Marie.
I feel that's a
and
dope
Tommy Gunn.
R&B track.
There you go.
There
you go. You've got an idea.
Dope. Album 2 when it happens. Root credit. Written by.
There we go.
Yeah.
Executive. Small executive producer credit. All right. So coming up to speaking of the future.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you're already working on another
Already
project.
working on the second album,
so
of course.
How come straight into the next one?
I miss writing.
Yeah.
I miss making beats and I think people forget there's like a 6-month period where it's admin. It's doing interviews like this. It's press, doing shows.
Yeah.
Especially with Dubai, which I think we'll probably talk about later.
Yeah.
But there's just been so much of me not making music, and I've been blessed to be working with Jai on his new album, so that's been keeping me sane.
For sure.
Apart from that, it's sort of like, all right, life's progressed, in the last year since I finished writing the album, right? So it's what else do I need to talk about? What else can I input into the world?
Definitely.
And how the scene's changed, how the landscape of everything's changed, like new artists as well coming out.
Yeah.
Like it's interesting time. So perfect time to make a new project,
No,
right?
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. When exactly did you actually finish the project? Like when was the last, final exported file?
Oh, last exported file was probably a week before.
Okay, let me rearrange my question. When was the last song written or the structure of the project done, roughly?
Track list was finalized by January. The album would have been finished before it now dropped. So October. Yeah.
So like you said, a good 6 months between now and then. So you kind of just, especially as a producer, and I assume you wake up kind of like the whole Kanye thing, wake up 5 beats a day, 3 beats for 3 summers type situation. You're just like, I'm just itching to produce.
But I mean, it's amazing because the stuff that's coming out now, I thought the album was my best work, and recently I've been locking in the last 2-3 weeks, and just some of the stuff we've been making, I'm like, come on, surely not.
You hear the old album, come on, man.
Literally, right? And then it goes back to do you enjoy your album? Yeah, I do, but damn, man, I want to release this new music now.
For sure. And count on me. I'm super excited to hear what the next one, because if it's already better than what you already dropped, then and the reception that you've already been getting, people don't know what they're gonna be ready for.
I think
sure.
it's gonna be. This is early
Yeah,
days, right?
no,
Like
super
obviously there's nothing happening with the album right now, but I think it's a lot darker. So
Okay,
far the
interesting.
demos we've been getting is a lot darker, but a lot more hype. I think this one I'm probably gonna aim to be a little bit more of a live one, you know, less of a storytelling one, more of a like,
Okay,
you know,
more perform.
Like
Yeah,
I want to
yeah,
get
yeah,
people
yeah.
fucking
On stage, like you got
no
whoever.
Astro World Fest,
No,
but
no, definitely
no.
not. Definitely not.
but a safer
No.
version of that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Too
Okay.
soon.
I'm just gonna move on.
My manager will feed it away. It's okay.
It's like,
Shut up,
come
man.
on. And like you just mentioned, Dubai.
Yeah.
So you are moving there. Am I correct?
Yeah. So Jai Wafer's there.
Yep.
MK, M Coffee, M Kofi.
Yep.
I still don't know how to say his name, to be honest. He's over. Oh shit! Bleep that. No legal names. No government names. Yeah, he's out there. So they're both out there. They're doing their own thing, working on like projects and stuff. And then myself, back and forth between this album and
nice.
I guess my next album and working with them. Obviously, like I said before, Jai's new album coming out soon. I don't know if I can leak that, but coming out soon.
Yeah.
But that one's sounding amazing.
No, for sure.
Definitely like big, like I'd say like half Starboy, half After Hours, like weekend vibes.
Okay.
Which with Jai, he knows how to do it. He kills
For sure.
it. So
For sure.
yeah, that one's gonna be nuts.
Nice. And do you have a timeline for the second album, or are you kind of just working on it and just seeing how it goes?
Yeah, just working on it, I guess.
Okay.
I feel like saying a random date and it's like
coming out February 2020.
in 2 months time.
Watch your space.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
I'm sure. Yeah, it'll probably be the same sort of timeline, like singles November, December, and then album out February, March.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hopefully, knock on wood.
No, 100. If you want to run to the tree. But anyway, thank you so much
All
for
good.
allowing me to
Thank you
interview
for
for the
having me.
project. Trip, with or without you, out now, all streaming. Make sure you go check it out if you have not. And yeah.
Yep.
Catch you next
Yeah,
time.
catch you
If you
next.
want to
Thank you.
if you want to close it out.
No, that's it. Yeah. Bye.
Peace.